I would like to start with Clover Hogan. Clover is what I would call a global citizen. She was born in Australia. She worked and studied in Indonesia. She lives in London today. And she is exquisite in a way because she spent half of her life saving this planet. And she does this by talking to young people, encouraging young people to throw away their inhibitions and their angst and work for a better future. Now, we're all faced at the moment with a completely different crisis, the pandemic. Do you think we can turn people's justified, perhaps, fear that they have into something more positive?
The climate crisis is the symptom of broken systems. From the clothes I'm wearing to the food in my fridge or how I got here from London. And so the change that is required is at that system level. There is no hope in another 10 years of incremental change. Now, the bedrock of these broken systems is a system of capitalism based on limitless growth with finite resources entrenched in a centuries-long history of the oppression of marginalized communities of color, of women, of indigenous people, the custodians of our land. And it's also based on a millennia-long history of the commodification of nature, valuing the tree not for its ecosystem services and the oxygen that enables us to breathe, but for the table it provides or the palm oil going into one of our chocolate bars. Now, ecological crises, of which the pandemic is one, the pandemic is caused by this exploitation of nature, show us not just how broken these very systems are, but how fragile and how ripe for disruption. We have an opportunity before us as we're forced to press pause on our hyper-consumptive, globalized lives to think about the future that we want to create and to think about how each and every one of us, politicians, business leaders, concerned mums and dads, students, can step up to become custodians, to rethink so much of how we live, breathe, and exist in the 21st century. And I believe that one of the most underutilized and one of the most powerful tools that we have is that of mindset. For me, the threat greater even than climate change, greater even than any pandemic, is the feeling of powerlessness in the face of these existential threats. Fear is an incredible motivator when it relates to an immediate threat. For our ancestors, a saber-toothed tiger leaping at us from the bush, or for us, for me in London, someone on an e-scooter swerving onto the sidewalk. But fear, in the context of an existential challenge, like climate change, like a pandemic, fear breeds apathy. It breeds nihilism. It breeds the belief that we are too small to make a difference and that the system is too broken to create meaningful change. And that is why I believe that one of the most powerful things that we can do is begin to rewrite the stories that we hold to be true about the world and about our role in it, and shift from this place, as you said, of anxiety to real agency.
That's fascinating. Thank you very much.